Yo, what's up, everybody? I just got done with one of those workouts that, like, my whole body hurts right now. Sometimes I make up these stupid workouts. I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound so bad. And I start doing them. It's like, oh, shit, what did I get myself into here? A lot of times it has to do with the old Aerodyne bike. Nothing makes you more tired of the whole world than one of them stupid bikes. I don't know what it is, but I swear to God, nothing gets you tired like that. Okay. So, on my YouTube channel, making videos. Guys, I'm sorry, I have been unmotivated. And this is kind of, I don't know, one of the reasons I left FRL. I did really enjoy it, but sometimes there were just times I wasn't interested in stuff, and I had to be interested because I had to talk about it, because I had to do my research, because I had to be on FRL. And now, like, the CKLV, like, I don't know, that was kind of fun, and I know I should have made a video on it, but I didn't. This wasn't really that motivated to. So, I did see a tweet that I was motivated to make a video about. I think I have an area of expertise here, and I'm very excited to share it. And so that tweet was by Adam Chiarapelli, and he was referring to how he was talking to a college coach. And I wrote down the exact quote here, did my homework. Until you match the physicality, they won't acknowledge you. And this was in reference to college coaches recruiting high school kids, okay? And he went on to say that, like, tough is a prerequisite, which I don't know if tough is exactly the correct word that I would use to define it, but I kind of get what he's saying. So I think physicality is absolutely the wrong word. Tough is kind of the wrong word, right? Because kids can be tough and not have the skill I'm talking about. And so what I think about, and maybe I'm being a little too wordy here, but I think about tenacity. And so what I think about is your athlete's ability to fight and win matches. Right? So how hard are they going to scrap to get their hand raised? Are they willing to fight every little position on their bottom, when they're on their back, right? When the guy's in on their leg, are they willing to fight all those positions? I suppose you could argue for toughness here, but I don't think it's as fully encompassing, and physicality for me is for sure not fully encompassing. Physicality, I think, would be an incredibly stupid thing to recruit, because you have kids who reach levels of physical maturity at way different points. You have some kids who hit puberty at, 14. You have some that aren't hitting it until 18 or 19. Then obviously age discrepancy. You have some kids who are holding back, and, say they're a 20-year-old high school senior approximately. That's obviously going to give you a physical advantage. So physicality, I think, would be a really poor quality to recruit on. Now, I kind of feel like I bag on college coaches a little too much, and, don't take this personal. I'm not going to say names. If this is you and you feel guilty, then maybe you should be a little offended. I think most college coaches lack creativity in their recruiting. I think they do a half-assed job, and I think they rely strictly on rankings and results. So, if you want to get recruited, you got to have the results. You got to go win matches nationally. And so you could argue to me, hey, Ben, well, isn't that fair? Isn't that what wrestling's about, is winning wrestling matches? And I would say, yeah, that's fair. I get it, and college coaches want to know they can do it. But, from my personal experience, and we've been open for 13 years now, and it took us a while to get good. It really did take us a while. I think it was kind of a once-in-a-while thing that we'd have a Division I NCAA qualifier in the first handful of years. And then, last year we had 8. We currently have 9 in the rankings. And if you included some of our red shirts, we'd have plenty more than 9. So now we're having a lot of really highly successful kids. So, don't they need the results? And so I think I wrote down a couple of things of what I would recruit, and then I'll tell a couple of stories. So tenacity was kind of the more appropriate word for the ability to win and fight matches, and I think that's probably one of the main things I would recruit for, probably over skill level and absolutely over physicality, is how hard are these dudes trying to win wrestling matches? Are they fighting in every single position? Because that's what I need and that's what I want. If you watch guys that we've put out that are having a high level of success, like Keegan or Mitchell, Parker, these guys, they're fighting all the positions. They're fighting hard, right? That's what we teach. Number 2 would be love of wrestling. I want some kids who love wrestling. And at the end of the day, if you don't love wrestling and you're there for 5 years, I may get you have some success, but if you don't really love it, we're gonna have a tough relationship. Because I love this shit. I love it. All of my being, I love it. And so if I I want a bunch of kids in my room. This is what we have at AWA. It's one of the things that is so enjoyable to me. Got a bunch of kids who love wrestling, and they show up and they ask good questions and they want to work hard and they want to be there. So I'm going to try to get a bunch of kids on my team who love wrestling. And there are a bunch of kids who may be highly skilled, but because dads push them or maybe because of other reasons, extraneous reasons, they just don't love it. Maybe they don't even like it. And maybe they're still going to be good at it. That's fine. I don't really want them on my team. I want a bunch of kids who love wrestling. And if I got to take a kid who's a little bit worse, but who loves wrestling, is going to have a great 5 years, and we're going to have a great 5 years together, I would do that for sure. Third characteristic I wrote down, and the last one's actually not a characteristic, it's more of just a strategy of something I would look for if I were the college coach, is open-mindedness / growth mindset, which I think those are a little bit the same thing. I don't want a kid who's fixed mindseted, who is not willing and open to take advice. And every kid I've had here who has, done this type of thing with their career, and this is whether they're a household name to you or whether it's just someone who started out kind of not that good and just got better and better and better, but they've been open-minded, they've been open to suggestion, they take feedback very well, and because of that, they improve. And maybe not just from me, maybe from Coach Messenrick, right? Maybe from their teammates. They take advice, they're open-minded. Those are fun kids to work with, right? So think about those three characteristics they put together. They love wrestling, they want to show up. They are open-minded and listening to advice. And number three, they're gonna fight hard as shit to win the match. You give me those three characteristics, you can give me some kids who are not very good and we will get good. 100%. If I have those three characteristics, we will get good at wrestling. I can tell you that. I got a bunch of them in the room right now. Doesn't matter where they started. If they have those three things, they're gonna be good, okay? And the last thing, and this is where, I think college coaches don't, I don't say that, I don't know, creative enough. They don't want to put enough effort in. I don't know exactly why they don't do this, because this is the most obvious to me. Oh, you know what? I was going to tell one story. I forgot to tell the story. I don't have a script. I have 4 words written down here and then the one quote. So I'm going to tell a story. On the tenacity thing, the one college coach, I'll give you 10 seconds to guess who this is. He called me one time and he's recruiting one of my athletes. And he said, what about this position and this position in this match? He didn't fight hard enough. Why didn't he do that? I was blown away. I'm like, damn, you went deep. Like, this wasn't like a national finals or something. I was like, wow, you really dug in. You watched the matches. You pointed out very specific scenarios where the athlete who was an AWA guy didn't fight hard enough. The coach was for sure right. He said, why not? And I thought I had a good explanation. It was just that the athlete at that time, and this will come into play in the last thing. The athlete at that time, he just wasn't as adept at certain positions. And so when they got those positions, they felt a little lost and they didn't know how to react. And it wasn't that they didn't want to win. It was just they weren't quite adept yet, right? And so then this will go to my last point is trajectory. Shane Sparks loves T-words. Shane Sparks, you can steal that word from me. Trajectory. So a lot of these coaches, they look at a dot. They look at a single point in time. This kid is this good right now. Okay, what does that tell me? Listen, his curve could be going up. His curve could be going flat. His curve could be going down. We can find guys in the rankings of all different rankings who meet those trajectory profiles. And so you're looking at a single dot. You're not looking at a projection over time. And I'll give you some great examples. Mitchell Messenrick, the first time around, he was not recruited by anybody. By nobody! I'm sorry. This is where I'm going to make some people mad. Sorry. He was not recruited by any really big-time colleges. He was recruited by some Division I's. But I want to say, I don't think there were any teams in the top 20, would be, if I recollect correctly. Sorry for those guys who were maybe a little lower who recruited him. But for how good he was, and he was like, I don't know, like I said, 18 rank or, like he was lower. But his trajectory was looking good, right? He was getting better. And then, you got me telling him, and I don't lie. I'm going to tell you straight up, hey, this kid's a good kid. They're gonna work hard. You're gonna like them. But if I don't think they're great, I'm gonna say, hey man, they're gonna try really hard. Maybe they'll get great, but he ain't there yet. okay? And Mitchell, I said, this kid. I remember this specific conversation walking around with my dog, Gaia, rest in peace, Gaia. I was having with Cale Sanderson. I said he's almost there. He said, I think he's got one hurdle left to clear. And if he clears that hurdle, he's off to the races, for sure. And Cale just still couldn't bring himself to recruit him because Mitchell left Penn State, right? And so, but Cale still just couldn't bring himself to recruit him. And, you know, so it's like, well, listen, if these coaches aren't willing to take Ben Askren's advice, why would they take your advice? If I'm telling them, hey, this kid, he's going to be good. I'll tell you what, same thing. Peyton Mako, same thing. Noah Mulvaney, right? None of the big-time programs were recruiting them, and they weren't looking at their trajectory. They were looking at a single dot. Where is this kid right now? Not this kid's going like this. So if I just extrapolate a little bit past this dot, he's going to end up here, right? Mulvaney, you know, struggles a little bit as a, say, sophomore in high school. You know, he's down here, but then his junior, he's going here, and then senior, right, he wins Fargo. Then he qualifies for NCAAs as a true freshman. Right, his trajectory is good. Peyton Mako, tell all these calling coaches, hey, no one's recruiting this kid. And with him, I think it was the other ones that maybe shouldn't have said nobody. Peyton Mako, I literally believe it was nobody. You know, and I called a bunch of coaches I knew. I said, hey man, this kid's coming around. He's smart. He had like a 4.0. He's gonna get it. He's gonna be good. And then, you know, I think he had a crazy overtime match with Sammy Sasso. And I think he beat some other kid that was going to Ohio State at this tournament. And all of a sudden, next freaking week, 10 college coaches calling him. It's like, guys, I told you all. I'm not a liar. I told you he was going to be good, right? Then 5-time NCAA qualifier, All-American. Like, I told you, okay? And so it's funny because, you know, like I said, you guys could try to talk a college coach's ear off. If they don't see it, they don't believe you. They don't believe me. Now maybe that we have so many good kids. Now I think maybe they believe me a little more when I say, just give this kid a little more time, right? Because we don't rush kids. I'm not trying to have them be elite by 8th grade. And so if you just start to look at their trajectories of where they're going, the trajectories start to look pretty freaking good. And you got to extrapolate. So if your point is as a sophomore, junior in high school, and they've been showing growth, they're probably going to continue to get better. So now that we have so much success and so many successful college kids, I think a lot of these coaches they're listening. But they weren't listening to me 5 years ago. They weren't taking my advice. For sure not. They were pretty simple. They wanted to see results. That was it. If they saw a result or two they liked, they would recruit them. If they didn't see those results, they wouldn't recruit them. That's it. I could tell you the kid had a great ACT. I could tell you the kid had a 4.0. Didn't matter. I could tell you the kid's trajectory is looking good. Didn't matter. Okay? So that's what I got. I wish college coaches would be a little more creative. I wish they would look at trajectories more often. I would personally look for tenacity, love of the sport, and open-mindedness or growth mindset because I know they're going to get much better. So that's what I got for you guys. Had fun making this video. Leave your comments. I'm out of here. Peace.